Hello, my name is Jae-seop. I'm studying for a master's degree in KAIST Bio and Brain Engineering Department. Today's lecture subject is metabolic disorder, and it will be presented by Professor Hail Kim. For your better understanding of main lecture, I will briefly explain about the basic concept of metabolic disorder. First of all, I want to tell you about what is insulin. Insulin is a hormone that lowers the level of glucose in the blood. It's made by the beta cells of the pancreas and released into the blood when the glucose level goes up. Insulin causes cells in the liver, skeletal muscles, and fat tissues to absorb glucose from the blood. In the liver and skeletal muscles, glucose is stored as glycogen, and in fat cells, it is stored as triglycerides. More detailed mechanism of insulin is illustrated in this figure. Under normal circumstances, insulin carefully regulates how much glucose is in the blood. After a meal, the amount of glucose in your blood rises, which triggers the release of insulin. Insulin binds to its receptor, which starts many protein activation cascades. These include translocational of glucose transporter 4 to the plasma membrane and influx of glucose glycogen synthesis, and glycolysis and triglyceride. In conclusion, insulin stimulates cells all over your body to absorb enough glucose from the blood and affect to the cell metabolism. This important hormone insulin is related to famous disease which name is diabetes. Diabetes mellitus, or simply diabetes, is a group of metabolic disease which a person has high blood sugar either because the pancreas does not produce enough insulin or because cells does not respond to the insulin that it produces. This high blood sugar produces the classical symptoms of polyuria, which means frequent urination, polydipsia, which means increased thirst, and polyphagia, which means increased hunger. There are two main types of diabetes. In type 1 diabetes, the cells of the pancreas stop making insulin. In type 2 diabetes, either the pancreas cells do not make enough insulin or the body cells do not react properly to it. This is known as insulin resistance. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune condition, and the immune system attacks the cells of the pancreas. It tends to affect people before the age of 40 and often follows a trigger such as a viral infection. The exact mechanism that lead to type 2 diabetes are not fully understood, but an underlying genetic susceptibility is usually present. This could be a family history of illness, for example. The condition is then triggered by lifestyle factors such as obesity, and it usually appears in people over the age of 40. Interestingly, insulin resistance is not only caused by diabetes, but also by pregnancy. During the pregnancy, the high levels of placental growth hormone, placental lactogen, and circulating insulin-like growth factor 1 levels lead to a state of insulin resistance and increase the basal hepatic glucose production. Insulin resistance ensures a stable level of glucose and may increase nutrient availability to the fetus, possibly accounting for an increased risk of failure of growth. Moreover, a pronounced physiological decrease in peripheral insulin sensitivity occurs as the pregnancy proceeds. Finally, I introduce another cellular molecule which name is serotonin. Serotonin is a monoamine neurotransmitter. Biochemically derived from tryptophan, serotonin is primarily found in the gastrointestinal tract, platelets, and the central nervous system of animals, including humans. It is popularly thought to be a contributor to feeling of well-being and happiness. Approximately 90% of human body's total serotonin is located in the enterochromaffin cells in the alimentary canal, where it is used to regulate intestinal movements. The remainder is synthesized in the serotonergic neurons of the CNS, where it has various functions. These include the regulation of mood, appetite, and sleep. Serotonin also has some cognitive functions, including memory and learning. Another function of serotonin will be introduced in the main lecture. This is my presentation, and thank you for listening.